are bred specifically to produce large quantities of milk. Intensive dairy farming results in increasing number of welfare problems for dairy cows. Welfare issues for dairy cows. Good animal welfare depend on three components. Number 1, physical well-being, and number 2, mental well-being. Number 3, natural living. In intensive dairy farms, all three of these compromised by period of confined indoor housing health problems due to high milk yields. Lameness is painful and significant welfare problem for dairy cows worldwide. Cows might go lame due to various conditions associated with bacterial infections such as hoof disease. This condition can be caused by poor quality flours, ineffective food trimming, poor nutrition, and prolonged standing on floor. Mastitis inflammation of the udder is the painful result of bacterial infection that is prevalent among dairy cows. In a herd of 100 cows in Uganda, there could be as many as 70 cases of mastitis every year on average. A cow's udder can become infected with mastitis causing bacteria due to contamination of
mwenye ako na herd kubwa, lakini kama hauna herd kubwa unaweza tumia either mkono, tumia pressure uone kama kuna clot sababu indication clinical signs za mastitis, kitu moja afama anaweza pata ni clots, white clots Kwa hivyo ukikamua na pressure utaona cross, unaweza tumia mkono kamue matiti moja moja. Alafu tena kama unaweza afford strip cup ni kikombe iko na black rough membrane, black rough membrane. Wakati unakamua na pressure wakati unakamua na pressure namna hii, kama hiyo matiti iko na cross, kama iko infected, cross zinatend kuattach kwa this black membrane, Kwa hivyo utajua matiti fulani iko na mastitis. Kwa hivyo kitu moja unafaa kufanya ni kuisolate hiyo ng'ombe na ianze treatment mara moja. Alafu kuna njia nyingine unaweza tumia, the accurate one, the CMT. Inaitwa CMT. Hii inaitwa pado. Na kuna the reagent reagent ziko kwa market, ni mingi sana kwa market Alafu sasa imeandikwa, iko indicated A, B, C, D kulingana na matiti venye iko na matiti ni 4. Kwa hivyo kila matiti unakamulia kwa pahali yake. Hivyo sasa nitajua, sababu pado yangu nilikuwa nimeiweka namna hii, matiti ya mbele pande hii ndio hii, ya pande ile ndio hii, ya pande ile ya nyuma ndio hii, na pande hii nyuma ndio hii. Kwa hivyo nikiweka reagent yangu hivi, alafu na shake kidogo hivi, hii reagent inataka kureact na matiti yenye ile matiti infected, those bacteria zina react na that reagent. Kwa hivyo maziwa inataka kuwa sirime, inakaa kama makamasi. Kwa hivyo utajua hiyo matiti ni mgonjwa. Kwa hivyo utajua hasa matiti ikiwa 4 hasa umeidentify ile matiti mgonjwa. Na kitu moja unafaa kufanya ni kuweka dawa. Kwanza una strip kabisa before uweke dawa. Dawa ni za aina mingi, kama hii ni dawa moja. Kuna dawa ziko penicillin based na zingine sulfonamide. Sana zile mingi ni penicillin based. Hata sulfonamide ziko. Zingine tetracycline, gentamicin. Lakini always unafaa kutumia ile dawa yenye si powerful sana. Uanze na ile dawa iko chini, ndio ikikosa kurespond unatumia ile the stronger one Kwa hivyo ni makosa kutumia ile stronger, sababu ikifail kupona hauna another option, ng'ombe inaweza potea matiti. Sasa itakuwa hasara.
Infertility is a major production with high yield dairy cows. It can be caused by nutrition deficiency, stress, and poor body condition. Therefore, it is often a sign of poor welfare. Most dairy cows will be kept indoors for part of all the years. Cows typically have less opportunity to act naturally and exercise when indoors compared to when they are at the pasture. However, indoor housing may be necessary during bad weather. Good housing design and management are essential for good welfare. Crowded condition, poor ventilation, and high humidity increase the injury and disease. Important for cow, especially during lactation, and they need somewhere comfortable to lie. Cows that are kept on concrete floor with inadequate bedding or in house with poorly designed cubicles will be more likely to develop mastitis. Hard flooring is also more painful for lame cows to stand and walk on. Some cows are kept in tie stalls, which involve severe confinement. Each cow is tethered by either chain, metal bar, or rope tied around the neck for up to 24 hours a day throughout her life. Tie stall restrict every aspect of cow behavior. They are unable to socialize, exercise, and may even be unable to turn and scratch themselves. Grazing needs cow needs access to pasture with plenty of space and opportunity to graze. This is important for their physical and mental well-being and their ability to perform natural behavior. In Uganda, most dairy cows still have daytime access to grazing on pasture, but more cows are being kept indoors for longer or even all a year around. This is known as zero grazing, and it is increasingly used for large and high-yield herds worldwide. Cows are ruminants that naturally graze or browse on grasses and other vegetation. Therefore, they require a lot of fiber in the diet. However, dairy cows that produce high yield of milk require more nutrients-dense diet, so are fed more concentrate and less forage. This leads to build-up of acid in the ruminant part of the stomach, which, if occurring for prolonged period each day, causes acidosis. Cows with acidosis often have diarrhea and can develop laminates, damage to the feet that cause lameness. Naturally, cows suckle from their mothers for up to a year and maintain a strong bond with her for several years. However, in commercial farming, nearly all calves are taken away from their mother within hours of birth. This causes severe distress to both the cow and calf, and has long-term effects on the calves. Physical and social development can affect animal production, and it influences dairy farming system. For example, heat. Animal or cows exchange heat with their immediate surrounding environment so as to regulate their body temperature. Cows with factors like ventilations help manage, reduce, and avoid stress. High temperature are a major cause of heat stress for cows within the cow barn, but also outdoor. Other factors that contribute to heat stress are limited access to shade pastures, overcrowding which result in limited air circulation, poor ventilation which results in limited circulation to fresh and cold air, limited access to clean drinking water. How to reduce heat stress in animal housing? Number 1. Provision of a shed. Number 2. Enable free flow of air through considering ventilation when designing a cow barn. Number 3. Provide a clean drinking water to cool down cows. Provision of a shed goes a long way with reducing the effect of heat stress. This is the reason why one of the response of cow to heat stress is looking for a shaded area to stay in. Shelter or shed can be provided in two different ways as follows. Shed in natural environment should be having trees. Sheltering in constructed structure, cow barn.
Will do. Cows need to maintain their body temperature at 38.8 degrees C. Various factors affect that temperature, including radiant heat from the sun, relative humidity, yield, stocking density, and wind speed or airflow. Temperature and humidity both interplay to cause heat stress in cows. We measure that using the temperature humidity index, or the TH impacts that heat stress can have. For a start, the cows will stand more. They dissipate heat easier when they're stood, but that means they're not lying down as much, so they're not codding as well. They've not got as good digestion. Feeding patterns also change in cows with heat stress. They start to take smaller meals and they start to sort it more, looking for the more energy dense products. This reduces their overall energy intake, which can have a negative on fertility and yield. The best time to look at your cows to see whether you've got any signs of heat stress going on is about 2 to 3 hours after milking. Go into the shed or stand outside the shed and look at your cows. Are there more of them standing up than lying down? Are they gathering round doorways or where there's fresh air? Is water consumption going up? Are they hovering around water troughs? Are they taking less dry matter? Are there more cows drooling? Or are they panting? Can you see an increased respiratory rate? There are various things we can do about heat stress if we suspect we've got it in the herd, and there's certain things we should be looking at. The first thing would be ventilation in your buildings. Are there a lot of cobwebs on the roof? Is your roof open? Could you look at opening the sides of the building more, or looking at opening the roof to encourage more airflow? If that's not possible, or your buildings are quite close together, then looking at putting in fans in to keep that air moving across the cows will help them reduce the heat. The next things to consider is water intake. Cows in heat stress will start looking for more water. Is your water plentifully available? Should be a minimum of 9 centimetres per trough space per cow. Are the troughs got enough water pressure behind them to keep that water there at all times? Feeding is also worth looking at. Because of that higher risk of sorting and changing feeding patterns, feeding more often or feeding at night can help keep the food fresh and encourage dry matter intake. Adding Actisaf into the diet can also help because it helps stabilise the pH in that rumen. It helps feed digestion better, it helps feed efficiency, and therefore will maintain your yields and your fertility.
Farmers should maintain adequate supply of quality feed, forage that is relatively low in fiber. Also provide fresh, clean water and shady area for animals. Where roofing system may be hard to avail, farmer can suspend shade net in holding area. Protect against direct sunlight. Pastures fields provide suitable and natural environment for feeding and resting. Trees provide the best shade. They have cooling effect because leaves absorb. A healthy cow is a happy cow. An understatement well all agreed about. A cow is an animal with a very high level of resistance. This means that cow becomes sick very slowly. The challenge a farmer has is to recognize these pre-sick signals in advance. Therefore, key observation skills are required to get them treated before your cow becomes really very sick. Your eyes and ears, nose, brain are needed in helping your cow to remain healthy. Healthy signals to be known or judged by the farmer include body temperature, pulse rate, respiration rate, rumen contraction, rumination activity, rumen feel and body condition scoring, mucous membrane, dehydration, manure, tapeworm disease or hardware disease. Having known healthy signals to be known, judged by the farmer, then how and where do you measure to know the traits value belonging to the healthy? How and where do you measure to know about the different values belonging to each healthy trait? Important healthy check parts in a cow. We have horn, we have eye, we have skin, we have nose, we have lungs, we have heartbeat, we have rumen feel or rumen contraction, we have belly, we have rumination activity, of tile and mucous membranes. Body temperature. The most reliable place to take a cow body temperature is in the cow rectum. Make sure that the tip of the thermometer contacts the inner wall of the cow rectum. Temperature should be never less than 38 Celsius If thermometer is not available, check with this: horns, ears, tail, rump, nose. Healthy cow, the horns and ears, tail and rump are always warm with a wet nose. However, a sick cow, the horns and ears and tail and rump are always cold with a dry nose. Temperature should never be more than 39.5 Celsius. Pulse rate. Cow's heart is located just above the elbow, straight above the left front leg. Another option available to measure the pulse rate is the tail. Pulse rate can be abnormal in case cow is in heat. Cow is due to curve of heat stress, environmental temperature. When abnormal pulse rates are experienced in case of unexplained reason, always check a cow body temperature. If there is a high pulse in a combination with high temperature, maybe something yet invisible is developing. Pulse rate is between 60 to 8 beats. A steady pulse rate is between 60 to 80 beats minute. Check the respiration state of the cow without stethoscope. It is advised to keep some distance. Coming close make the cow become nervous, thus increase the respiration rate. Observe the breathing nose. If cow blowing the air out of flank, if moving inward and outward, take your time. Listen. Respiration breathing rate using stethoscope in case of relaxed cow. Put your ears against cow where lungs are located. Respiration rate can be abnormal in case of a cow is in heat. A cow in due to cough, disease, heat stress, humidity. Abnormal respiration rate in most cases can be explained. For example, high respiration rate for sure will have negative impact on milk production. Activity needed to be undertaken to help the cow reduce respiration rate. For example, cooling either using fans, water sprinkles, shade. Trying everything is better than doing nothing. A steady respiration rate lie between 15 to 35 beats minute. Rumen capacity is between 150 to 200 liters. Activities within the rumen take place 24 to 7. 2 contractions occur per minute. The rumen healthy or activity is crucial for the cow general health status. A sick rumen is a sick cow. Rumen activity can be seen via the danger triangle, using stethoscope or by hand. Dangerous triangle. Check with the stethoscope. Check with the hand. Rumination activity. Cows ruminate, observe, throw between 50 to 70 chew per cud. Beware belching and swallowing. After swallowing, start counting how many chews per cud. 70 to 80 of resting or lying cows are expected ruminating during the day, and healthy well-fed cows spend about 8 hours ruminating. Rumen feel can be used to tell the feed intake of the last few hours. Score 1 very bad. Score 2 acceptable, high procedures. Score 3 needed for milk cows. Score 4 needed for dry cows. Score 5 pregnant heifer. Manure is very informative, can be assessed to tell ration evaluation, well balanced for protein, fiber and carbohydrates. If water intake is appropriate, if the cows are digesting the feed correctly. Score 1. Manure feel like creamy homogeneous mixture. These are not visible undigested food. Particles include this means too much protein. Score 2. Manure feels like a creamy homogeneous mixture. There are few visible undigested food. particle. Could this imply inadequate fiber or acidosis? Every month, the same person should do the body condition scoring. All the scores must be administered. When the cow is losing or gaining weight, 0.5 point on body condition, it is time to re-evaluate the cow for overfeeding or underfeeding.